Have you ever lain awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, counting every passing minute, just wishing for a deep, restful sleep, but instead, alertness keeps you trapped? You're not alone. Millions of Americans between the ages of 45 and 60 face this exact struggle, chronic insomnia that turns each day into a challenge. But my story, like so many others, proves that while sleep may be lost, hope never fades. Listen closely to these 6 parts that can transform your health through better sleep. Part 1. The struggle you can't ignore. Have you ever stared at the ceiling, wide awake, as the clock ticks past midnight again? The frustration, the exhaustion, the desperate longing for just one uninterrupted night of restful sleep. It feels like an endless battle. You're not alone. Millions of Americans between the ages of 45 and 60 face this nightly struggle. Insomnia doesn't just steal your sleep, it drains your energy, clouds your mind, and chips away at your joy. For years, I lived in that same exhausting loop. My name is Michael, and I'm 53 years old. For over a decade, insomnia has been my constant, unwanted companion. Nights blurred into restless tossing and turning, waking up multiple times, staring into the darkness, my mind racing with worries I couldn't quiet. The mornings were the worst: heavy eyelids, foggy thoughts, and a heart weighed down by fatigue. At first, I thought it was just stress or a phase. Maybe I was just pushing myself too hard. I tried everything, cutting back on caffeine, exercising more, even meditation apps. Some things helped a little, but nothing lasted. I found myself caught in a vicious cycle, exhausted during the day, but unable to sleep soundly at night. The impact went beyond tiredness. My work performance suffered, my relationships felt strained, and I started to feel isolated. As if I was the only one trapped in this endless loop. I even began to fear bedtime, knowing the struggle that awaited. That was my reality until one conversation changed everything. Part 2. Understanding the science behind insomnia. What I didn't realize back then was that insomnia isn't just about being stressed or tired. For people like us, between 45 and 60, there are deeper changes happening in our bodies that affect our sleep. As we age, our bodies go through hormonal shifts, especially for women going through menopause and men experiencing a gradual decline in testosterone. These hormonal changes can disrupt the delicate balance that controls our sleep-wake cycles, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. Additionally, the production of melatonin, the hormone that signals our body it's time to sleep, decreases as we get older. This drop means our internal clocks can become out of sync, leading to fragmented and lighter sleep, stress and anxiety, which tend to build up during midlife due to work pressures, family responsibilities, or health concerns. Also play a major role. When your mind is constantly racing, it's difficult to relax enough to enter the deep, restorative stages of sleep. But it's not just hormones and stress. Chronic health conditions that become more common in midlife, like arthritis, sleep apnea, or restless leg syndrome, can interrupt sleep patterns and cause discomfort that makes restful sleep elusive. The result: you wake up feeling like you've barely slept at all. Daytime fatigue, trouble concentrating, mood swings, and a weakened immune system become your new normal. Understanding these causes was the first step that helped me stop blaming myself and start looking for real solutions. Part 3. Trials, errors, and emotional battles. Determined to reclaim my nights, I began trying everything I could find to beat this relentless insomnia. I was desperate, and that desperation fueled endless trial and error. First, I turned to medication. Prescription sleep aids promised quick relief, and at times they delivered short-term rest. But the side effects: grogginess in the morning, Dependence and worry about long-term impact kept me awake with anxiety just as much as the insomnia itself. Next, I explored natural remedies. I sipped chamomile tea religiously every night, tried melatonin supplements, and even experimented with lavender essential oils. While these brought moments of calm, they never solved the root problem. I joined online sleep forums, hoping to find others who truly understood. Their stories mirrored my frustration, disappointment, and exhaustion. It was comforting too. No, I wasn't alone. But the loneliness of facing this challenge persisted. I also tried changing my routines, cutting out caffeine after noon, avoiding screens 2 hours before bedtime, and dedicating time to meditation and light yoga. Sometimes these helped me fall asleep faster, but the midnight awakenings continued. Emotionally, the toll was immense. I became irritable and withdrawn, anxious about going to bed because I dreaded another sleepless night. My confidence waned. I questioned if I would ever feel rested again, or if I was doomed to this foggy, fatigued existence forever. Despite the setbacks, I refused to give up. Somewhere deep inside, I believed that relief was possible, that if I could just find the right combination, I could reclaim peaceful night start. And then, one day, a chance encounter opened a new door for me. Part 4, a turning point. Finding hope in a friend's wisdom on a crisp autumn afternoon. While attending a community event, I ran into Lisa, an old college friend I hadn't seen in years. She looked vibrant, energized, and most surprisingly, well-rested. Curious, I asked her what her secret was. Lisa smiled knowingly and shared her own battle with insomnia. Like me, she had struggled for years, but unlike me, she had found a natural way to reclaim her sleep without relying on medications. She spoke about the power of small, intentional lifestyle changes and the importance of patience and self-compassion. What changed everything for me, she said, was treating sleep not just as a task, but as a sacred ritual. It wasn't about forcing myself to sleep, but about creating a peaceful environment and mindset that welcomed rest. She explained how she adjusted her evening routine, turning off screens early, dimming the lights, and dedicating time to unwind through gentle yoga and meditation. She also talked about paying attention to what she ate, avoiding stimulants later in the day, and making her bedroom a sanctuary designed for sleep. Most importantly, Lisa emphasized the mindset shift, letting go of the anxiety about not sleeping, and instead focusing on relaxing the mind and body. Her words resonated deeply with me. For the first time in years, I felt a glimmer of hope. That peaceful, restorative sleep wasn't a distant dream, but an achievable reality. Inspired, I asked Lisa to help me map out a plan. And together we began to chart a new course, one built on science, self-care, and realistic expectations. Part 5, taking action. Small steps toward restful nights. With Lisa's guidance, I began to understand that overcoming insomnia wasn't about quick fixes. It was about making deliberate, sustainable changes that worked with my body's natural rhythms. 1. Establishing a consistent sleep schedule. The first step was to set a regular bedtime and wake-up time, even on weekends. Science shows that a consistent schedule helps regulate your body's internal clock, the circadian rhythm, which signals when it's time to sleep and wake. Though tough at first, sticking to this routine gradually retrained my body to expect sleep at the same time each night. 2. Creating a sleep-friendly environment to transform my bedroom into a sanctuary. I invested in blackout curtains to keep the room dark, used a white noise machine to drown out distracting sounds, and kept the temperature cool, ideally around 65 F18C, which research suggests is optimal for sleep. 3. Reducing exposure. to blue light, knowing that screens emit blue light that suppresses melatonin production. I made it a rule to turn off all devices at least an hour before bed instead. I read printed books or listened to calming music. This helped my body naturally prepare for rest. 4. Incorporating relaxation techniques each evening. I practiced gentle yoga stretches and deep breathing exercises to release tension. Meditation apps guided me through mindfulness practices that quieted my racing thoughts. A major barrier to falling asleep. 5. Adjusting diet and caffeine intake. Limited caffeine afternoon and avoided heavy meals or alcohol close to bedtime. Both caffeine and alcohol disrupt sleep quality, despite common misconceptions that alcohol helps you sleep. 6. Managing stress through mindset shifts. One of the hardest but most important changes was learning to let go of the anxiety about sleep itself. I stopped obsessively checking the clock or worrying about how little rest I was getting. Instead, I focused on relaxation and trusted that sleep would come in its own time, slowly but surely. These changes began to work. Nights that once felt endless started to bring periods of deep, uninterrupted sleep. I woke up feeling more refreshed and alert. Science backed up what I was experiencing. Research shows that these behavioral changes, collectively called cognitive behavioral therapy, for insomnia (CBTI), are among the most effective long-term treatments for chronic insomnia, especially for adults over 45. Part 6. A New Dawn. Embracing life with restful sleep. Months passed, and the restless nights that had haunted me for over a decade gradually became a distant memory. With each night of restful sleep, I felt a renewed sense of energy and clarity that had eluded me for years. Waking up refreshed became my new normal. The fog that clouded my mind lifted, allowing me to focus better at work and engage more fully with my family and friends. My mood improved, and I found joy in everyday moments that I had long overlooked. Beyond the physical benefits, reclaiming my sleep gave me something far more valuable: hope and confidence. I realized that while aging brings challenges, it also offers opportunities to learn, adapt, and thrive. If there's one thing I want you to take away from my journey, it's this: you are not alone, and change is possible. No matter how long you've struggled with insomnia, it's never too late to take control of your sleep and transform your life. The path isn't always easy. It takes patience, persistence, and kindness toward yourself. But the reward, restful nights and energized days, is worth every effort. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it inspires you to begin your own journey toward better sleep and better health. If you're struggling with sleepless nights, remember, you are not alone, and better days are ahead. Healing your sleep takes time, patience, and kindness toward yourself. Every small step you take brings you closer to restful nights and brighter mornings. Don't lose hope. Your body and mind have an incredible ability to heal and reset. Keep believing, keep trying, and know that peaceful sleep is within your reach. You deserve to wake up refreshed, energized, and ready to embrace each new day. Stay strong, you've got this.